teacher by profession. I studied to be a teacher, and I majored in geography. So the first part of my life, I was a geography teacher, but I quit to become a full-time creative and hustler, official hustler. So I actually prepared a presentation, an actual presentation that I would share in a little bit, but I feel like I feel like uh, that's who I am, and maybe in my slide I can show you a little bit of who I am, and in my slides maybe show you what I'm up to and what I've really prepared in stock for you all guys. But I'm really glad to be here, and I'd also like to have feedback from you guys. I'd like to keep hearing you respond, cough, clap, make babies cry in the background so that I know that there are people that are here and are listening to me. Yes, so I will go ahead and let me hear something. Let me hear someone cough before I do my presentation.
Musicians and mic checking. You also want to mic check us on the...
Yeah, I want someone who's not Andrew. I already know Andrew is a musician. I also think to be a creative does not necessarily mean you're only a musician or singer for that matter. I am personally not a singer. So many people get disappointed when they realize that I don't sing at all, at all, at all. This in my slide that is supposed to be the last thing to show you guys. So I'll take it back. Yeah. So can you see my slide? Can you guys see it? Andrew, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can see the slides.
Okay, great. So maybe I lied that my name is Colin Serunjoji, but if you just want to be cool, you can call me Call. That's what the cool kids call me. I've always wanted to be called that. Uh, so rather than call me Collins, you should call me Call. Uh, Again, I already talked about myself, but these are the notes when I think, when I take my time. I uh, 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 Again, I can break it down and continue talking about it, but uh, I didn't want to use the word I in the sentences because I'm already using a lot of I, me, what. But just like everyone here, I belong to the universe. I'm an African. I don't know if all of you are Ugandans, but I'm a Ugandan and I'm a Muganda. And there's a place called Matuga, which is in Wakiso district. It is about 30 minutes away from the city center. That's where I come from. Now I am so proud of this place it's because in this village, in like a few, in like a radius of like half a kilometer, I have my father's house, my grandfather's house on my father's side, my grandfather's house on my mother's side, my uncles, like everyone is in this small village, and that's where I come from. So my dad was playing and he saw my mom playing on the other side, and they fell in love with each other and they got married and they chose to also stay close by. So I'm very proud of Matuga. I feel like that is I am the person that really belongs to Matuga, because yeah, it's my home. I love it. So I was born and raised in that place. I made a statement here. I love natural transformation with goal in mind. I don't know what that means, guys. I will, maybe if I remember, I will be able to tell you, but maybe I do. It's it will make sense after my presentation anyway, but that's the statement I made. Uh, then, of course, I am passionate about creating projects that demonstrate convenience and comfort. I was very particular about these words because I had to think about it. And I realized that that's actually what I do and who I am. And I hope you can see that at the end of, by the end of my presentation. So I'm so happy that I've shared that. I will get a little bit deeper into who I am because I created this presentation to be a to use myself as an example for what it really means for to develop a project and what it really means to like manage your projects and make them successful. So I will use myself as examples. I tried Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, but it didn't really work. So I'm like, let me use a person that I really understand. Uh, so here we go. First of all, I'd like you to know that after thinking a lot, I came to the conclusion that these are four of the most important things. This is not only about creatives, it's about everyone, drivers, mothers, and this is information for everyone. Knowledge and experience, endurance, soft skills, and your passion are the very most important things that you need as a creative. And and if this presentation has to end here, this is all. This is all of it. If it has to end here, I would be happy for you to know that these four things are really important. And I'm saying that because I've been in it, I've been through it, I've seen how this really works, and I'm still continuing to realize that without passion, nothing can really go right. Let me ask: there's a sun, there's a setting sun right behind me. Is it distracting? Can someone talk to me about the sun?
Yeah. Yeah. It's coming through your face, if that's the right word. I think
Mm,
since we are all eyes are on the slide, and I know
I
some people.
can, I can, I can
Yes.
take my face off. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Uh, okay, cool. I guess I'm going to miss out on the ladies that might have wanted to see my face, but it's there. There's a picture of me, so we'll go with that. Uh, Let me hear someone agree with me. Someone speak, no comment. Speak that you agree with me that these are very important things. I will break them down using my own experiences and examples, but please let me know that these are, you agree with me. At least someone say something, please.
Well, I do agree, especially on the bit of passion, because it is passion that keeps you going. So I totally agree with you.
Thank you. Is that Lovis? Thank you so much, Lovis. I will now continue. I selectively, I specifically chose these. There was a long list of other things that are really important. But for me, again, from my own experience, I would never survive. I would never have any successful project if I didn't have the passion. And by passion, guys, uh, it means, it can mean your love for something, what really inspires you to do something. I know that most of you here are already experienced and know a little bit of these things, but as a creative, you cannot overlook your passion. If you're not going to get money from it, if you're not going to get a partner from it, because so many of us do things because we want to get laid or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a big inspiration, even from research, uh, and so many things. If we are not able to get any other thing from the things we do, we should be able to be happy while doing what we do. Uh, there are so many times I find myself smiling while playing the guitar, yet I have 20 people that are demanding me and are waiting for me to get off the stage and then ask for their money. But there's at least one thing that I would enjoy doing, that is playing my guitar on a concert. Yeah, yeah. So that's one thing. I thought that all the other things are really, really important. I know that knowledge and experience is very important, and endurance. Endurance for me, I relate it with, if any of you works out or you do push-ups or you run or you do any kind of sport, there's a time when you want to give up. But whatever keeps you moving, it's actually most of the times it's either passion or what, but you need that in endurance. You need to keep going when you feel you're tired. This is general knowledge, everyone knows it. But when you try to relate it with a creative project that you have, you will realize that you may sometimes overlook the fact that all you need to do sometimes is to hang in there and keep going and keep moving and not give up, and before you know it, you have made it. Soft skills for me is a winner. It's one of the things that so many people lack and so many people do not get successful with their projects because they do not have soft skills. Now, um um I don't see all the names here, but if anyone can tell me an example of a soft skill. I mean, I already know one, but I need I need someone to tell me what they think a soft skill should be or is, or any example. I'll be here waiting. Okay, Andrew just texted and he said that, that's a long statement. Man, me, I can't read all of these things. All right, anyway, passion is a key factor when it, okay,
No, Colin, I was just taking notes of what you were saying. I'm summarizing it for the listeners.
ah, okay,
Yes. I wasn't
okay.
answering the question, but I think you can pick someone and answer the question.
All right. Um, how about we have, there's a pilot in this place. Can the pilot help us answer? As he is autopilot.
The pilot will not help you. The pilot
Ah,
is the
okay.
pilot is an AI. He's taking notes
Ah,
with.
okay. Can we have Steven Lutaya? I hope that's not my boss I'm
No,
picking up.
he's also from Matuga. He's your brother in the same from the same village. Stephen, if you are there.
Steven, are you there? I will I will continue anyway. Please feel free to like put, write notes or message. What do you think? Uh so one example of soft skills for me is, these are skills Shadrach says that help you interact and work with others. I agree, definitely. You even have it, you understand it better than me. Thank you, Shadrach. Yes, yes, I agree. And one of the examples, critical thinking, problem solving, uh, Lovis is giving us examples here. I agree. Now, the idea here is that we might know all these ideas. Yeah, communication skills, people like all agree. Now, the idea alone and the application of the idea are a little bit different. I'd like to take you guys through an example where you have to actually use communication skills. It might be a fancy word, but so many times, for example, let's say you have, for example, recently I advertised a date, uh, and I had to cancel it for a concert. Now, now, communication skills, effective communications here means that first of all, you need to know who to tell first. Who's the most important person to tell? Who are my stakeholders in this project? And who should know first? And then also you need to know how long should it take me to communicate this, and then what reason should I give them, even if there's an actual reason why you are canceling. Because I was canceling because of a because of good news for me, because I met someone who offered support, but they asked for some time to like raise funding for the project, but they were willing to support the project. But now I wouldn't I wouldn't communicate that entirely the way what it looked like to some people. For example, someone might say, "Hey, Kumbe, you didn't even have money, and you were planning to do the concert." So I had to like change the way I had to communicate all the information, but let everyone know and let everyone comfortably take on the information, the disappointment. And I'm not perfect in this, I'm just learning, but these are like soft skills, trying to think about everyone to be different from the other person, and how we communicate with them to be actually different from how we communicate with other people. So that's like sort of an example of what it means to have good communication skills. But also there are several other soft skills that are really important. For example, again, one more example, I said I'll use a lot of my own experiences because I didn't get all the information I wanted to get about the Facebook guy. So the other thing that once happened was one time, again, after a concert that we had put together, uh, one of the guys, one of the service providers had not gotten paid fully. And this guy was so pissed, was so disappointed that he had to confront me and like want to fight me. Guys, this stuff happens. And this person wanted to like fight me. Uh long story short, right now this guy still calls me and says, "Hey man, how are you? How's the going? What, send me a 10K, what." We are still friends. But no one would ever tell that this person would still be friends with me. All of the people that watched the situation that was happening that day would not ever imagine that we'd still be friends with this person, and very good friends. The idea is, when I saw this person lose control and badly want their money. I mean, I didn't have the money. The concert was done and there was no money for to pay everyone. I just I just had to listen to this person. I actually had someone to protect me. Normally, sometimes again it's a thing. I had someone on the show to like protect me. I have a big brother. He's very big and he's a bodybuilder. So sometimes I call him to hang around me when I have organized the concert, so that when people demand their money, guys, it's good to plan to pay everyone, but some people like do not understand things. There are other better reasons why you need security sometimes. So that this I told the guy that was going to stop this guy immediately. I told him, let him, it's okay. Uh let's handle this. Let the guy like uh let him like express his feelings and let him shout at me, let him like push me around. And that really helped him calm him down. Like he was able to like say what he wanted, do what he wanted. But then he could also clearly see that he couldn't go. I mean, the idea is afterwards, after all of that, I told him, "Hey man, you've said all of that, but the truth is, I'm very much willing to pay you. You know that we've worked before, and once I have the money, I will pay you. I am glad you've shown that you're disgruntled and you what, but but um but yeah, that's it. I mean, there are other things I don't remember exactly what happened afterwards, but I made sure that I handled the situation. I didn't also like fight back. And at the end of the day, I was able to like secure him, still have him as a person I can trust and work with. I will move forward now. Now that I have talked a little bit about an example of a situation where you actually need soft skills, I will move on and show you guys the next thing I want to share about. Yeah, that slide says my examples. So, personally, I know I've already told you that I'm a musician and I studied education and I was once a geography teacher. At some point, I was teaching English. Not that I know a lot of English, it was just a gig. Uh, uh, but then, while I was living my life, I'll tell you a backstory about how I picked up the guitar and how I started music. My parents are not musicians. I do not come from a musical background. In Matuga, there was nothing like concerts or what. I actually picked up this I actually picked up this guitar thing while I was sober. I was at university and I was taking up my course as a teacher. I realized that I would become very bored just attending lectures and not necessarily uh, only attending lectures. So I thought to myself, I need to pick up a new skill, something that I can do in my free time. And that day, what was in my mind was to go to join the sports club. Inside Macquarie University, there's the sports ground. There was swimming, basketball. If some of you know my height, you wouldn't recommend basketball for me. If some of you know me physically, I would not be the greatest person for basketball. But yeah, swimming maybe. So I was ready to go for swimming or judo. They have judo going on there. And that day I was walking from my college towards that sports ground. But as I was walking, I found a poster that read, "Learn how to play the guitar." I was like, okay. I saw there was a number there and I called and the person on the other end received me and they told me about the process and that's how I started playing the guitar. So it's not in the beginning, it wasn't really about having a inspiration or what. It was a very sober idea to go and pick up a new skill. And if you guys can relate, some of us a little bit tied to, you have to be talented to do this. I disagree with all of that. You just have to soberly decide, take charge of your life. If you want to be a dancer, you can still train and become so good that people think you're talented. And every time people say you're talented, I'm talented, I'm like, I don't think I'm talented. I'm just skilled in this thing. I just picked up a skill. So again, I went and I picked up the guitar. Now I started playing the guitar, learning to play the guitar slowly while attending university. And I came to learn about a great deal of other people in the university who were also learning a few things in the creative sector. Some were singing, some were playing the guitar also, some were rappers. And we used to have a meeting that was organized every week on a Thursday inside the university. And I met this group of people who were really amazing. We were not studying the same courses, but we kind of like had similar things. Some of them were really, really talented. Some of us were just trying to struggle, but I used the opportunity to learn how to play the guitar. But also, during that process period, I realized that I could actually create a community around me that continues to do those things. I thought that I could now be a part of a community that empowered people who wanted to pick up new skills and new passions and talents and maybe develop their talents. So because I wanted to be a part of that group, I think when I failed to like see a consistent place where I can be a part of that, I decided to create uh, CMH Live, which you will again learn about later on. But CMH Live is a musician collective. We are so many musicians, and we keep meeting and jamming and playing all over the city and doing these events. And it's just for us to have a platform. And but during the process, I realized that I could, after having my talent. Now you might be thinking you have creativity can be so wide. You might be working in the fashion industry, you know how to make clothes, you probably know how to play football, you probably know how to play the guitar like me, you know how to sing, how to rap. You, and even the word know is very big. You like, it's just a matter of liking. Because once you like something, you're in control. You can actually uh, you can take charge, you can develop the skill to the top professional level. It's all about developing the skill and training and rehearsing. So I'm really proud of the project that you're seeing in the presentation right here, because it's like the biggest thing that one of the biggest things that have come to my mind. You might be wondering, a month-long countrywide festival celebrating the festive season with an African touch involving over 1,000 artists. The start, Kampala City, Uganda, later the entire continent. I'm talking about Africa. Imagine such a project and imagine what you need to make it happen. For the next session, I want to take you guys through how I am able to develop such a concept and make it happen on top of other concepts as a creative, without money, without the American Heights, without, but with just the passion and a few other things. I'd like to take you through the process of developing this, which is actually still a work in progress, but the pictures that you're seeing in the slide are actual pictures. There's a lot of such pictures because the project is now already happening. But I'll take you through my process of how I'm able to actually make this work. And you might be thinking, he got support, he got what? But all of those things that other people think about first are not the things that I used or I used to make my projects work. Before I continue, I'd like to hear from you guys. If any of you has a particular creative endeavor or passion or talent, I'd like to hear, if do we have any singers here? Do we have a guitar player? Do we have any creatives, fashion designers, photographers? Anyone? I would like to hear someone speak to me. Someone loves singing. Someone is calling me. I've never met the king. The king has never given me a title. I love. Please call me Call. Yeah, we have a photographer here. We have someone who loves singing. Someone plays keyboard. That's amazing. That's really nice. Nice to meet you guys. I also play the guitar and the keyboard. I cannot dance. Do we have a dancer here? Anyone to represent dancers? You don't have to be very professional. You don't have to be very professional. You just have to love it. And you just before. Because again, you can't say I do this when you've never done it. One more person. Let me see one more person tell me what they do. Someone speak to me. Don't text. Someone speak to me. Tell me what creative. Even if you've not yet done it before, like seriously, this presentation is about that thing that you've always wanted to do that you really want to do. You might see this as scary, the African Christmas festival, but I'm gonna tell you the projects that I've done, and they have been very successful. Even to learn how to play the guitar is thing, Mr. Kandole Edward. Uh, I know you have made efforts to learn how to play the guitar. I know you have made efforts. How far?
Hi Collins, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
I can prac it. You know that freestyle pracking it, as long as I have a beat.
Hey.
Yeah, I haven't yet taken it deeper, but if you give me the guitar, the mode is set, I can plug it a bit and I create some good sound out of it.
Ah.
Uh,
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, cool. Now I am very confident we have some creatives here. Now this is like this, the example in this slide is like maybe the biggest project you might have. But the smallest project, creative project you might have might be as simple as Edward's idea of learning to play the guitar really well, to learn how to play maybe a particular song. I want to be able to play that song. We are unity. Huh? What does it take? What are the simple steps I can take? How long will it take me? What are the practical steps? Who do I need to talk to? Uh, how long is it gonna take me? How much money do I need? If I do not have the money, how am I able to achieve it anyway? Because trust me, guys, you we can, as creatives, we can make things happen even when we don't have money. Uh, so a little bit about this festival. It's called African Christmas Festival. 19. I've been trying to go on the streets during the Christmas season between November and December with several singers and friends. Uh, and we've been going to the streets and playing live music for the people. We've been having one of the pictures there is actually a screenshot. A small picture is a screenshot of some of the stuff happening. That was in the middle of the city center, and we had people gather around us, see us play live music. Then the other bigger picture, which is not very clear, is of musicians playing, and those were vendors watching us perform, musicians perform, and it was in Mubende, in a market in Mubende. This was when we decided to go countrywide with the festival, play in so many different cities and towns all over the country, all with the idea of celebrating the festive season with the communities. And because we have the we have the blessing of having so many creatives and musicians around us. Myself, I play the guitar, and so many people who sing and do stuff. So we gathered ourselves and we went out and did this festival. We ran it between November and December, and every day we have somewhere we go and play. And yeah, I can tell you more. You can always ask me more questions about it. But again, this year it's going to happen, and we can't wait to have people. So we always have 50 plus artists join us, and we move all over the country playing music on the streets, and actually high quality music, not that stuff. Okay, a few other projects I've worked on include the Academy Musician Fellowship that's happening right now. It's a 7 month long free fellowship for professional practice for upcoming artists. It involves workshops, trainings, and showcases, and over 75 artists have already gone through it. Some of the pictures you see there are of the activities we normally have: training sessions, workshops on branding, workshops on live performance. We also normally have live showcase every month where the artists showcase what they're learning. We also always have rehearsals going on. And right now we have done it a few times. We have been in partnership with Motive before to run the fellowship, and right now we're in partnership with the Media Challenge Initiative still to run the fellowship. And right now we have 25 artists that are going through the fellowship, learning and changing their lives and learning how to practice professionally and learning all about songwriting and how to work with producers and branding and live performance and all of that stuff. And it's all free for everyone who is involved, and it takes a process. But we also have a concert series that is called the Music House Live concert, and it happens every year again. We always have like special artists who stand out. We organize a concert for them, and they all showcase the best of themselves in form of a live concert, and it's always amazing. One of the pictures is of the one of the artists. This was at National Theatre last year where we had the concert. We also had it again last year, and we're gonna have it again this year. These are examples of the projects that I've been working on, and that have been happening for a period of over 5 years. Uh, I must say that when you see all these activities and the projects from the African Christmas Festival to the Academy Musician Fellowship and the Music House Live Concert and several other events, in the beginning it is a big idea. Now I might be giving you the impression that I'm more of an events guy, but that's not true. The actual process, how these happen, is from the small things that I do, like learning how to play the guitar, really well that I could play for any artist. So a concert like this, like the Music House Live concert, if you can look at the picture, there's in the background, there's someone holding the guitar. That's me. Like I am on stage, I am playing the guitar, and the artist is in front, and there's people in the audience. And for me, it's just the actual project is me being a guitar player, but me being a guitar player who wants to use a platform, and me realizing that I want a platform. I want a platform where I can play the guitar, but no one is willing to do this for me. So I need to do it myself. And then I ask myself, what do I need to play to be a part of a concert at National Theatre? I always wanted to play at the National Theatre. Guess what happened? I had to organize my own concert to be able to play at the National Theatre. But it wasn't me alone that benefited, everyone else benefited. Um, I'd like to get a little bit in detail of how, for example, I was able to create. Let me tell you about how I am able to hold one specific concert. They're usually not very big concerts. It's not the cricket over, guys. It's not the cricket over. Now, most of the people might say you need money. No, I disagree. You don't need a single. You need money. We need money, but not in the way that people approach it. You do not first get the money. You first do the work. You approach people. You let people know your intention. This is the process that I go through to have success guaranteed, to know that I'm going to be successful. Research. Uh, One of my friends asked why I was reading about the WWE, not watching it. Of course, I love John Cena and Roman Reigns, but maybe there are even newer guys that I don't know about. But I've always been more interested in how have you imagined how the WWE universe is an actual universe, like where fathers and grandfathers have been a part of, like a place where a man walks in and they let their children also be a part of it and their grandchildren. This is an actual universe and an actual ecosystem that really inspires me. Now, as a person, when I read about the WWE, when I learn about the history of the WWE, I am more in position to achieve something like that if I like it. Now, if you are a dancer, if you're a keyboard player, do you know the best keyboard players in the world? Do you at least know the best keyboard players in Uganda? Do you know the this is like a step that you can take to at least realize what these guys do. And it doesn't mean you want to be like them or you want to be like them, but it doesn't mean that you have to live their lifestyles. You might realize that well they started playing the guitar when they were what 6 years old, but the patterns are always the same. Like they go through the same things, they do the same things. So for me, my research has been very important for me. I read a lot about how someone organizes a small event successfully, 50 people. I look around. This is obvious, guys. We all do this, but to practice these things is what actually matters. Planning, plan for that $1 million before you get it. I wrote this because there was one night when I thought to myself, I was about to go to sleep when I thought, what if I got $1 million? What would I do with it? Then my mind started going wild. And I didn't sleep that night. The whole night, the next day I had work to do, but I was not productive because the whole night I was thinking about how I'm going to use $1 million when I get it. I've never got it. I've never got even a what percentage of it, the smallest percentage of it. But if I ever get it, I know what I'm gonna use it for. Now, this also applies with your dancer. Imagine yourself playing at the biggest stage in Africa, and just the thought of it can sometimes give you the momentum, the inspiration, the passion to like keep working on the small things that you have to keep working on. I also really believe in working with others in terms of offering value. To be able to organize my own concert, to be able to, to work with different artists comfortably, I am always offering myself. I am always like playing that guitar. When people call me, how much do you charge to play the guitar? Guys, I don't have a price. It's not because I don't know my value. It's because in my mindset is that I first offer value. In fact, sometimes I even ask, by the way, as a freelancer, uh, you need to, I don't know if you guys ask, but when someone calls you and asks for a service, do you realize that sometimes they don't even know what you do really? They are not sure what they want and they don't know. So sometimes I'm like, do you know that I play the guitar? Are you calling me because you know that I play the guitar? Do you know what type of guitar I play? If you don't, I tell you that I play this type of guitar. And like, I want someone to really, really know the value of what I'm offering. And sometimes I go the extra mile of making them test what I'm offering. Sometimes someone told me that I am putting people in a trap. Like I first give you free stuff, and then when you want me, I'm not available. And that's when you realize that this guy was supposed to have been paid. Andrew,
Yes, sir.
how are you? I want people to speak. I want to speak to someone as I continue. Is it normally like these people are really really attentive and they're making notes?
Yes, we are
Or
taking notes, but you can ask someone.
right? I don't want to call out names, but I'd like to hear from a lady that agrees with research, planning, and working with others. Anyone has an experience where they anyone has these three elements? Priscilla, is Priscilla here? Priscilla Nakaiza. Is she from Matuga also? Priscilla, say hi. Anyone, any lady, please say hi. Guys, I am not married. I am also searching. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I understand the message. I know what that means. That means I need to work harder. She's unable to speak, but she could hear me. All right. That's cool. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Um, so the research in terms of, let's say there's an artist here. Let's assume there's an artist here who wants to do a concert, a small concert, not the big one of Cricket Oval. You want to do a concert. What does research mean to do a small event? No, let me leave events alone. Let's talk about an album. You want to record a song and release it for the first time. What does research mean? Research means you trying to find out about producers before, without just, you could ask someone, do you know a producer? But when they recommend someone, don't just say, okay, nice, thank you, and then you go on and record the music. You need to learn about other different producers, and you need to study them from a distance. You need to know if they they are in line with your style of music, because there are so many times someone goes with a reggae song to the studio and it comes out as a kadongo come, vice versa. So just trying to learn about which producers exist out there. Imagine that. And you might say, I know Nessim and Atim, but there's so many other producers who might be much cheaper and really good. But you need to like take your time and learn about them. If you want to create an album, you approach an artist who released an album. Talk to them. It doesn't need to be a very big artist. There's so many people on the internet who are successful in a humble way. Talk to them. I have a girl I work with, a lady called Patricia. She she has been through the academy fellowship. She joined when she was really naive. She just came from Gulu straight to Kampala. She cannot even speak Luganda up to now. And this week she's playing in Kigali. She has been booked at the French Institute in Kigali. But it's been only 2 years when she was like building herself, learning, inquiring. She always does a lot of inquiring, asking about things, learning about the processes. Guys, to be booked to play, to be booked by an international agency to play in another country, you have to be like legit. And and we were looking at the contracts, they were even in French, they were not in English. And she's getting paid well. This is not about money, but it's about being organized and planning, because now for her it's a thing about planning. We sat down and thought about the entire process of creating an album, which producers to work with, starting to release songs one by one, doing concerts and starting to go out using social media. All of these we didn't know, she didn't know, I didn't know. But right now when you look at her profile, when you look at her, how she's moving, you can clearly see that she is actually benefiting from planning and research, and most of all, working with others. Here, if there's one thing that I think is much more important, it is working with others, because when you work with others, you might actually uh, bypass planning and research. You can use someone. Uh, you could use my experience. If I know you, if we have worked together, if I like you as my friend, if you've done stuff together, you could use my experience. So you don't have to have all the experience of planning something, but you'd instead focus on something else, because you and I know each other and we're working together. So uh, personally, it's not been so easy to work with others. I'm personally an introvert. If the ladies here must know, I am an introvert. I will not I will not approach you. I will take my time. 2 weeks, 3 months. It's not a great thing, but that's me. But guess what, guys? At the end of the day, to get anything, you have to be able to approach someone. So some of you might be like me and you're not really, really comfortable approaching people and talking to people, but you have to face the discomfort to achieve something. But working with others is the holy grail of being successful. You might you might let me tell you, there's a game that I play, that I used to play, a wrestling game on my phone, and it is a wrestling game. I don't remember the name, but some of you probably know the app. It's called, I don't even remember the name, but it's an app. It's called Asphalt Nitro. So in that game, I played the first season and I became really good at it. I, I became really good at that. I became really good at that game. But I'd get the same points, 400 points, 500 points. Every time I'd win, I'd get 500 points. Then one day I saw a kid playing that game, and they were playing a different season, and they were getting 2,000 points. So I learned that I hadn't like scrolled down the screen to see that there's another season that I already was qualifying to play. When I learned about the next season and played the same way I dress in the first season for 500 points, here I dress the same way and win and get 2,000 points. What I realized was, wow, it's all about where you are, who you're working with, which season you're in, and who you're working with. So we might have the same skills, but when we start to work with different people, we might use the same exact skills for totally different, much bigger results. Imagine, imagine working with, imagine playing the guitar for the same guitar, by the way, for a bigger artist. You definitely get more money. Again, it's not about money, but more value, more everything. So the idea is approach people, talk to people, and work with people. You don't know how far you will go. Offer value and gain experience, and trust me, we will go really far. I I really wanted to talk. I wanted to talk a bit about a bit about. I wanted to talk a little bit about the specific planning that I might go through to do something. And for me, the first thing that I do is sit down alone somewhere in the gardens or anywhere with a book and just write down the idea on one side, on another side write down the like the outcome, what I think I'm gonna get from it, and then on another side write down the steps that I need. Now you also realize that there are specific things that you need. For example, if I need producer to work on something, uh, I know I need to pay the producer. So I'm like, what's standing between me and the album that I want to record is a producer. But then I need to pay the producer. However, I ask myself, how can what does the producer do? Produce music. This is a specific example. Back in 2020, I wanted to record a compilation album with my friends, like different songs, record an entire album and release it. So we got into an agreement with the artists, but also the producer that we wanted to work with. It was at the beginning of 2020, and we were to work for about 6 to 10 months or something. Then we started the first project. We would pay him like monthly. I remember, I think I was the one supposed to pay most of the money. So I paid the first month. I think first month. And we did the first project. Before we did the next project, COVID came. When COVID came, I lost my job, my teaching job. I was a geography teacher then. I lost my teaching job. I couldn't get a salary anymore. And I learned that there was nothing to do. The project was still there, the plan, but there was no money at all to continue the work. This is what I did, guys. Because of COVID, I was free. I went to a studio and told a studio guy that I'd like to play for you the guitar whenever you want to record, and in return, I want to learn how to produce music. Long story short, after 3 months, I was a producer and I produced the entire album, the rest of it myself. I saved like 2 millions, and the album is actually out. It's on the internet. It's called My House, Your House. And yeah, it might take some more time, but there's a way around everything. The most important thing for me was, what's the goal and what are ways to achieve it. You can always offer yourself or do it yourself. That's one way we survive. That's one way I've been able to survive. I'll show you guys one more slide. This one is about what I think is very important. These are general things that I have suffered myself when I didn't do, but also I achieved success when I was trustworthy. The most trustworthy I became, the more successful my projects were. But I think it's important to trust yourself more than because if I'm not gonna pay you, I'm not going to pay you. I know it deep inside. I need to trust myself that I'm going to pay someone. Then I will pay them. Offer value before asking for it. This is really, really, really important. As a creative, should be willing to dance. However, there's a difference between being used and being. That's something else. I think Andrew will invite someone to talk about how freelancers can avoid being manipulated. I don't know. Maybe you guys have already gone through it, but I love planning. I really, really love planning. I love sitting down and thinking about what I could do and how I could do it. Plan for that $1 million before you get it. The only thing that saves you when you mess up is being logical, guys. Being logical for me means not using your emotions, not deciding with emotions, not deciding something because you're very excited or very angry. However, just learn to be really logical and yeah, have passion. And when it dies out, pick another passion. I was very passionate about guitar at some point, but I think I stopped being passionate about the guitar and I became passionate about other things. So the way I play the guitar, I play it with the passion of other things. one of the other things I became passionate about was people. I love to see people happy. So I am playing the guitar because someone is gonna be happy. Then I'm gonna play it with that in mind. That when I play the guitar, I'm not passionate about the guitar, but I'm passionate about someone being happy. If it's money, there's something that you should be passionate about. Otherwise, uh, you can't do much. So I'd like to now stop talking and listen from anyone out there who has a question, comment, who wants to teach me something because I'd like to learn, and anyone who wants to just share. I'd like to thank everyone for listening to me. I would like to thank you, Andrew. I'll be here to listen from you guys for any comments, ideas. The slide here has photos of some of the projects that we have been doing in the past. Uh, Down here, there's a big group of people holding I Am the Academy. Those are members of the fellowship for last year. This was at Motive. I have a picture of a lady called Sandra K dancing. She's from Ginger. She's one of the artists that we support through CMH Live. She has she's doing blankets this month, blankets and wine. Uh, she has played Nyege Nyege. She has performed in South Africa, Sudan, everywhere. She's one of the artists that we support. Here, she was at one of our concerts at National Theatre last year. Here, there's a on the other side, there's a picture of Mzee moving on the street. That was Kampala Street. We were playing during the Christmas season, and we were playing on the street for the audience. And the other incomplete picture is of a book that I wrote recently. The book is called African Professional Artist Handbook. I am able to share a link about the book. It's on Amazon, and I also have physical copies that I'm selling for 30,000. And yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I'd like to hear from you guys. Any questions? I'm up to take any questions, and any ideas and all of that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, if you have questions, you unmute or you write in the chat. But Collins, I rarely ask questions, but I have one for you in particular. I want to know how you are able to have multiple I don't want to say streams of income, how you are able to create your own business, because I've seen you play like gigs every week. You have a book. Last time when I met you, inviting you for this, people are buying your books on physically on mobile money. You have these events. The way you are able to create something out of nothing is one of the things that amazes me. I know it might not be part of what we had planned, but I feel. Like, first mute your microphone. Okay, let me mute you because I'm having echo. Yeah, so in one of the trainings we be helping freelancers be able to create more and more business for themselves, whether it is starting a podcast, having those events, writing a book, getting gigs, which is something I've seen you do very, very well. Maybe I can't get the perfect question, but Ochikolotia, how do you do it? How are you able to write these books, have these guitar gigs, teach in a primary, in a school, teach geography, teach English, have events, play on the streets, and almost 90% of these things even make you money. How are you able to do this? As other people are also writing their questions and asking their questions.
Yeah, and thank you. So the idea is to all of what I'm trying to share should like brief the picture. I feel like there was a time when I had no single stream of income, but I still did what I do. So I feel like the consistency in terms of it's actually more about honing your skill and being the best at what you do is very important because I can't say I'm a great salesman. Like I go to venues and places and ask for gigs. No, I'm not the kind of guy who asks for gigs. But people who come to me know that I can do something really well. So if you're not a good salesman like me, go back home, lock yourself inside, and practice your guitar. And after that, when you've practiced enough, come out, meet people, not to ask for gigs or money, but to show them what you can do. And over time, people start to trust you and know that you can actually do something. So there's no specific one single thing that I've done to get gigs or to make money, but it's my reputation which has been built for over 5 years that people now come back to me and uh, and offer money. However, it doesn't mean that after 1 year or within 6 months you can't actually make money. Uh, the easiest way to do it is to hone your skills, have all those, uh, be trustworthy, be just plan well, and even more importantly, what I don't do, go out and market your product. About the book, I felt the importance of writing, sharing information. Uh, when we met, there was a man who asked me. I was trying to show the book. He asked me, "Did you write the book to make money or not?" That's the only question he asked. I was like, "This guy, is he going to give me a lot of money or what?" Then then I thought about it and I told him the truth. I knew that maybe the truth might not get me the 30,000 on that point because the guy was holding my book in my hand in his hands and I had already told him the book is 30K. I just told the guy, man, I wrote that book to share information. So my major goal aim is to share information. The guy paid me for the book and bought an extra book for someone. So I think it, it's not about ignoring money, but doing everything else also makes sense for me. Everything else that you have to do and being consistent, people will eventually know that you're the guy. You're the only guitarist. You're the only dancer. You're the best podcaster. You're the best. They will always see, oh, you have a genuine reason. And soon you will start getting money, man. But the hustle is real. The hustle is real. If you have to get money to survive, first you have to survive. You have to be able to pay your rent, whether through what or what, and find food and shelter, and then you can hustle through the rest.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Any other questions for the gentleman? You can write in the chat or unmute. I'm going to give the opportunity to two people and then we close. Any questions? Or anyone who wants to share something or add something or supplement or confirm or debate? Any questions? Are you guys scared? I know some people who are organizing an event, they are not asking the senior project manager is on the call. Should take your chances. Lovis Ayebale, you have your entire project figured out. You don't have any questions for the gentleman.
Thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity to ask. So maybe my question will not be like so specific, but especially according to what Mr. Andrew has said, he has talked about organizing events. I'd just like to know what it takes for you to organize an event. Like, what are some of those basic things you would look at, like the must-haves, the must-dos, like while you're organizing for an event? Thank you.
Uh, yes, Lovey. So last year I attended a training about event producers in Kenya by a lady called um called Mudhoni, the organizer of Blankets and Wine, and she kept saying that the most important thing is locking in the dates, like because it will commit you, like lock in the dates. I feel like that also goes with the venue, like go to a venue. In our world of events, like make more people accountable, or rather make more people know that you're planning something, so that they will now come back to you and tell you, hey, you told us you're going to do an event in 2 weeks. What's up? Why are you not already advertising? Me, I feel like that is one very important thing. Lock in the dates and go and book immediately. Let people know that you are planning it, so that you take it out of your head, but also the accountability now goes beyond you. The next thing is, I'd say, figuring out uh, your market. Uh, I think it should even be the first before that, but figuring out your market and speculating how many people do I need. Uh, so that makes you decide where you're gonna put them. What kind of people? Studying the market is really important. What kind of people you need? Where are you going to host them? What are the things that they really need? But I think I said the things from the least important, and then the most important thing is why you really, really want to do the concert. That should be strong. It shouldn't be because a competitor has done a similar event. Shouldn't be, should be more because it is in your plans, or it is within your values, and it is inevitable for you to do that event. So three things: the purpose is the most important, the market, understanding your market and revising the needs of your market, and then making other people accountable, like a venue, like confirming a date, and maybe your partners, your team. That's the most important thing for me.
Yeah, very powerful. I know I'm the host, but I'm being tickled as far as events are concerned. Events are very, very, very powerful in that. Yes, Simon Peter, you have a question? You can unmute and speak.
Yes, good evening.
Mm.
I know I came in a little bit late, but I wanted to ask a question. That I'm an artist. I'm also an artist, but I wanted to ask: is does Colin allow, like, does he give guitar lessons? Because I want to improve my guitar. Do I play the guitar?
That's simple. Simon, yes, myself and a few other colleagues sometimes, and I'm not around, but yeah, right now there's a place called Nzani Creative Hub in Kamocha. I have public guitar lessons on Saturday mornings, Saturday during the day between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. But they're paid lessons. I think people pay 25,000 every day, every when they come, and their lessons for guitar and keyboard. Sometimes I'm not there, but my colleagues are always there training their kids and adults. If you want private lessons, feel free to contact me as well, and we can get in touch. Yeah, I'd like to teach you the guitar. I'd like to teach you the guitar. I was also taught by someone.
Yeah, I see my friend Chikomeko Isaac is on the call. He's also a dangerous guitar keyboard player. Isaac, how are you? I think he's just joined. Isaac, are
Oh,
you there?
I'm okay, sir. Yes, I'm there, Prophet.
Ah, He's a creative. He's an architect, but who also plays keyboard. Very, very good. I think you and Colin, you have a lot in common. Yeah.
Nice
So
to meet you.
you guys have
Nice to
already
meet you,
met
Colin.
each other, only that you don't know. Haven't you guys, Isaac? Haven't you met Colin somewhere?
I must have.
Somewhere at Sky's Hotel in December 2022.
Yeah, somewhere there.
Yes. So I think since we have some time, there's something that we train, and I know some people have not maybe gone through it, but I wanted us to use 5 minutes. We talk about it, and then we can sign out. I feel it's tickling me. So one of the things that we look at is events as some of the best projects that can give you so much value or so many results in the shortest time. If you've noticed, this program is called the Freelance Business Acceleration. If you remember an event like a boxing match between Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather, those guys fought for just a few hours, but the money they made was enough for them to feed even their grandkids. And like Colin said, it's not about the money. So even the impact that one single event generates, if you are offering a mere service or a mere product, you can't reach that level, because an event is a collection of services, a collection of products, a collection of skills, a collection of branding, network. It's a very strategic thing. And as far as projects are concerned, if someone can pull off an event project, they can really pull off any project in the world. So me personally, I've decided every year I have to organize an event, regardless of whether it is in these things we are doing, whether it is in the arts, whether it is in technology. It doesn't matter, because when you're doing event-driven projects, you connect to a lot of people. You connect with a lot of service providers, you connect with a lot of contacts, a lot of like, you accelerate your network, you accelerate everything. I assure you about that. But I've noticed freelancers usually, we only look at maybe gigs, services, products, Fiverr. But like Colin has said, you might be a guitarist and no one is going to give you a platform. No one is going to give you a platform, because platforms are very limited. But when you create an event, you are not just creating a platform for your own self as a freelancer, but you are also creating platform for many other people like you. So if I create an event for musicians, I've created a platform for me as the guitarist, for example, Colin, but I've also created platform for 20 more gig stars. So me, I believe very strongly that event projects are some of the things we can use to accelerate freelancing, because the moment you organize an event, around 40 freelancers are benefiting from that one event, including you, and you're creating your own work, in creating your own brand. So it was burning on my heart. I had to share it. One more question and then we close. Unless you want to contribute to what I've just said. But if you have one question, you can share it and then we close. Any question? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of names on the call who didn't register. It's better you register so that you don't miss out on what we are giving. Yes, Ronnie, your hand is up. You have a question for Colin?
Yes, sir, I do have.
Mm.
My question is, I spoke about something of being introvert.
Mm.
How does he overcome that?
Yeah. So, Colin, you are in showbiz. How are you able to overcome being an introvert?
Yeah, Ronnie, that's a great question. eventually you practice it. It's just like public speaking. Eventually you realize that there are things you actually have to do to survive. So many times we do things, we force ourselves, our bodies and hearts and souls to do things that we naturally wouldn't be doing. So the thing is maybe selectively becoming extroverts selectively. So sometimes I have to pretend that I'm a people person, that I know that I'm a good dancer, or that I know you can't pretend that you're a good dancer. Sometimes I have to pretend that I can shake my body and yeah, stuff like that. So it's about pretending, man, and surviving. But when you pretend long enough, you actually become good at it, and people don't realize at all. So yeah.
So this is a fake it until you make it kind of route. Yeah. So you shake your body, and people will think you are a dancer. Okay. Unless there's any other person who wants to maybe contribute in line with that discussion. Yes, Ronnie, your hand is still up.
Yeah, I wanted to inquire about, because at times I know you said faking it until you become. So the
Yeah.
other thing is, how do you, like a scenario, how you overcame that rejection? Because there are times you can approach someone, maybe as try to connect to the person, and as you said, working with people in that process, and how do you overcome that rejection? If like trying to reach out to someone, but person is like, not
Yeah.
not interested in what you're trying to.
Or you are not good enough or something like that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Colin, how do you handle
Yes.
rejection?
I have once been rejected by a very important person. This was, I think, the leader of the British Council. I met this person, and I had like the opportunity. Not even the leader of the British Council, the British High Commissioner. A long time ago, not a very long time ago, and I had this great opportunity to talk to her. It was a lady about what I do, because she asked, "So what do you do? How can we help?" And when I spoke to her, after like 10 minutes, she said, "Man, I don't know what you're saying. What you're saying doesn't make sense." And I was like, okay, I had to leave. So my meeting, which was for 30 minutes, lasted for 10 minutes, and I had to leave by admitting that I didn't know. So I was a bit disappointed in the beginning, but later on I realized that I was actually not ready. So many times, sometimes we approach people when we are not ready. So rather than continue to approach people, I get the confidence when I go and really work on my stuff. And then I have people have to come back and approach me. Of course, at some point you have to approach people back, but you have to be confident and know that what you're offering, you have to learn about the person you're going to talk to, know what they're interested in, know what they might take up, because you might sometimes we approach people when we are not ready. That's all I can say, man. So I've gotten rejected a few times, but I went and worked on myself, and after a long time they allowed me. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think rejection is very painful. Those emails of, unfortunately, we cannot. I believe it's all about overcoming it. You move on. You don't get offended, and you keep on doing what you are doing. I've been watching a video today of a gentleman called Vinicius Jr. for people who know soccer, and they were showing how his teammates, one of his teammates was saying he's not good enough. He had racism problems, but as we speak now, the guy has moved through it, and he's one of the people who are being nominated to win the Ballon d'Or this year. So I think sometimes rejection doesn't really mean much. You shouldn't take it personally. Go work on your craft, work on your skill, close yourself in the room, practice that guitar until a time when no one can resist you. I'm just re-echoing what Collins did.
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, you made it clear. Thank you.
Yeah, one more person and then we close. One person and then we close. Maybe a lady. I've seen Collins is the ladies' man. One lady and then we close, to be precise. Okay, I don't see any question. Just allow me to share something small and then we close, something very, very small. Yes, Charles, your hand is up.
Thank you so much. All right. I hope that everyone is getting me. I wanted to ask a question, and this is not okay. Yes, I'm a creative. It's to do with creatives. There is a scenario among creatives or among a certain type of creatives that let's say that have multiple passions. Can I say multi? They're called multi-potentialites. Yeah. These are creatives that have multiple passions or multiple niches into which their creativity can surface in. Let's say, for example, I realize that with me, my creativities, there is I can sing, I can play multiple instruments, though not playing them as to the to the fine art of it, but I can play multiple, I can touch and do something with multiple instruments. I paint, sketch, like so many things. And what I'm trying to bring about is the the difficulty in choosing what kind of creativity you can settle in for the commercial bit of it, or the conflicting choices in what to pursue. How do we deal with that, you as the senior creatives or something like that? Thank you.
Charles, that's a good question. Kongs on the many skills that you have. That's a great thing. I believe that you can always use all the skills that you have. I think what I've done for me is transfer my passion to move away from the practical skills that I do into a different thing. That is, let me say, how I love to see people together in a space and like creating comfort for them. So for me, that allows me to use all the skills that I have, actually, all of them. One project alone can make me use all the skills that I have. You might say, how can I play the guitar and the keyboard at the same time? You can. Now, however, you've talked about money, how to monetize, what to monetize. I think recently it's very common that people make a lot of money from teaching. There's like teaching and be like doing podcasts, just talking to people, like meeting people and giving them value with the skills that you know. That's one way of making money. But I also believe that you can always have time for each of the skills and develop them. Maybe that way you will develop them like project wise. Maybe that way you will realize which one is stronger. Oh, there's so many solutions. Yeah. Or you might just really like genuinely think about which one you're better at, and but there are ones which have more financial benefit than others. I'd say generalizing everything and creating a platform where you can offer all the services and still make money from it is the best way you can do it. I've been able to do it. I could right now I could do anything and still put it under my projects. So yeah, it's more about continuing to realize what you're really good at and continuing to explore stuff. You can never get stuck at what to do when you have a lot to do. You can always figure it out. But come on, guys, we can keep in touch and like maybe even meet if any of you guys want to meet, or if any of you guys want a service or you have a service you can use, offer me. I need guitarists. If you're a good guitar player, come through, man. Let's get in touch. I can give you a job.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's been a beautiful session. Thank you so much, everyone who participated. I think we've come to the end. I just have something small to share about how the week is going to be. Something very, very small. And then we can close. So, Colin just opened for us the week. And we have completed. Tomorrow we have a gentleman from Finland. Okay, I know he looks Chinese, but he's from Finland. Get as many people as you can so that we don't miss out. For him, his session is all about opportunities. He's coming with opportunities in freelancing. We are trying to reconcile the gigs that are in Europe for the creatives and technologists. Is piling up not just a presentation, but a whole list of opportunities. So that's what tomorrow is about. It's all about opportunities. And then the day after, we have this couple. Me personally, I've benefited from their work. They are our sister company from Germany. They are experts in the future of work and modern ways of working. They have loaded with techniques and strategies and methods on how to work in the 21st century. We have this gentleman. He has the best creative portfolio that I've seen. He does work for all the top companies in the city. He's a visual artist. He does visual art, of course, but primarily he is a photographer. But he has a state-of-the-art portfolio. If you check it, you will repent. It's a very beautiful portfolio. He's going to be teaching us how to package our work to make it presentable. And then finally, we have this gentleman. I've been told he's the Vusi Tembekwai of Uganda. He's going to be showing us how to.
Tuguma, we cannot see your slide. They were seeing Monday, but we cannot see the people you're showing us on
It's
your
not
screen.
moving. Is it my
Yeah.
network or your network?
I don't know if it's my network, but I can't see.
You can't. Anyone seeing the slides moving?
We can only see Monday. We're not seeing the people.
Maybe it's my network, and I'm sharing my full screen. Let me first remove the. What do you see now? Has anything changed?
It's moving on the side, but on a slideshow, it's not moving.
Okay, let me first stop. Have I stopped or it's
Yeah.
still there?
Yeah, you can reshare maybe.
Okay. With all the things I've been speaking, I was speaking to myself. Okay, let me try to do full screen. But meanwhile, let me first share the link to our WhatsApp group in case someone wants to be part of the Freelancers Lounge. And then I try one more time. So you will let me know if you can see my entire screen. I don't think I should put it in full screen now. Can you see anything?
Yes, we can see. We can see. Yes, I think
Okay, so-
slideshow would do better.
Okay, I've already spoken almost everything, so let me hope you were listening. But that is our lineup for the week. Give Colin some hand claps, some digital hand claps, and then we call it a day. Colin, those are your hand claps. I think you can see them.
Yeah, they are so nice. I'm going to eat them for dinner. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow, same time, same link. Thank you so much.